So dear student, we have already discussed these properties of charges. Let us just revise it in a fast. And while discussing, you should have to pause the lecture and just make a note of that in your notebook. And at the end of lecture, just submit that entire pages in the chat box, your personal chat box in an app. So very first property is charge always be associated with mass, right? Charge is always associated with mass. Any charge you consider, like an electron if you consider, or neutron if you consider, or proton if you consider, you might have learned about that those are carrying a mass. So obviously charge always be associated with mass. Second is it can be transferred from one body to another body. Got it? It can be transferred from one body to another body, like we have discussed yesterday. If we have this kind of two bodies, and because due to some process, we can say, if we are able to remove the electrons from one body to another body, then because of deficiency of electrons, this body is considered to be having positive charges, and because of excess electron, this body will be considered as having excess negative charges. So that way what we are right now having, ki if a body has positive charge, it means it has lack of electrons, and if a body has negative charge, it means it has excess of electron. Then charge is considered to be a conserved quantity. Charge is a conserved quantity. Got it? As per board examination, charge is conserved quantity, that is correct, and as per competitive examination is also correct. But the second statement is just misleading right now. It can neither be created nor be destroyed. It is actually wrong. It can neither be created nor be destroyed. It is actually wrong. मैं आप लोगों को यहाँ पर एक एग्जाम्पल आगे डिस्कस करने वाला हूँ, जो कि बहुत ही स्टैंडर्ड रेफरेंस बुक एससी वर्मा में से मैंने लिया है, कि चार्ज कैन बी क्रिएटेड एंड कैन बी डिस्ट्रॉयड, बट द स्टेटमेंट शुड बी net charge cannot be created nor destroyed. Are you getting this? Net charge cannot be created nor be destroyed. It means, for example, a gamma photon, like yesterday I told you, gamma photon is there, and gamma photon can be splitted into, or pair production process is there. So positron and electron, these two charges we are getting. Even there is a process called as annihilation, in which positron and electron combine to just give us gamma. Gamma is a photon, and photon is entirely chargeless, whereas here electron carries negative charge and positron carries positive charge, and here before the production process the net charge was 0. So actual statement, it should not be like it can neither be created nor be destroyed. The actual statement is net charge cannot be created nor be destroyed. Like an isolated system is there. So there are, for example, 3 electrons and 3 positive charges. So net charge of this isolated system is 0. And if all of a sudden gamma photon entered into this, so gamma photon carries net charge 0, and for example gamma photon got splitted into 2 charges, positive positron and electron, then also the net charge of this system will be 0, because of pair production the net charge itself is a 0. Are you getting this? Or for example, in a box we have 3 negative charges and 4 positive charges, and all of a sudden gamma photon enters into the system and just gets splitted into 2 parts, like pair production process is there, and because of pair production we have got positron and again an electron. Again still, if you just go ahead with this system, then this system has 4 positive charges and 3 negative charges, that is net charge is positive only, and because of these two pair production process, the net charge itself is making 0 of these two. Are you getting this? So charge is conserved, that is very clear concept, but the second statement you should have to change. Okay. Next point is charge is quantized. Next point is charge is quantized. So that is, any body can have charge in integral multiple of smallest charge called as electronic charge. So Q is equal to plus minus n time electronic charge, whereas n is a 1, 2, 3 so on, and electronic charge is given. While going through this video lecture, you should have to make a note of that in your notebook. These are very important. I am just revising these things related which we already discussed in 11th standard. हम लोगों ने ये 11th standard में already पढ़ लिया है, तो सिर्फ आपको इसको रिवाइज करना है और आपके नोटबुक में लिखना है. सब समझ रहे हो आप? Then The fifth point is charge is relativistically invariant. Invariant means if an object, according to the Einstein's theory of relativity, if an object is there, if for example its mass is m naught at rest, right now the mass is m naught, and if the same mass is now thrown with the speed v, which is nearly equivalent to the speed of light, this is not exactly equal because we cannot reach to the speed of light, got it? So that speed is comparable to the speed of light, then its mass will be m, and the m is given by m equal to m naught root of 1 minus v square by c square. So mass varies. But what about charge? Charge is relativistically invariant, it will not change. So at rest the charge is q, and in motion is also charge is q, got it? Then next one is moving charges produced magnetic field in addition to the electric field. For example, I have positive charge, so it has just created electric field. This is just we are going to discuss in detail right now. So electric field, but when charges are in motion, so if charges are in motion, so it just constitute a current, and as per Oersted experiment, when a current is there, and if a current is there, then the surrounding to that current carrying wire, or if that charge is right now here, when that charge is in motion, then it will produce a tiny current along that path, and obviously around that a magnetic field is getting created. So right now just you should have to mention the things like moving charges produced magnetic field in addition to the electric field. This is important for your competitive examinations. Okay. Then next is accelerated charge radiate energy. Accelerated charge radiate energy. For example, this is positive charge. It has right now speed 0, and all of a sudden it has started moving in a forward direction, and after some instant it has got velocity, for example 5 meter per second, in particularly for example 2 seconds. So what we can say, the charge is now accelerating, and when it accelerates it should radiate, and that radiation is called as electromagnetic wave. So just write down this point. The next is there are type of charge densities which will be important for us. So first is point charge. Point charge is very conceptual thing. Conceptual thing means like for example if we observe an aeroplane जो होता है, अगर एयरपोर्ट पे आप एरोप्लेन को देखते हो तो obviously that has a bigger size, you can clearly see. But the same aeroplane, if it is flying in air and you're just observing from this point, if it is flying, obviously the same aeroplane would be looking like a point for us. So comparable is the distance of observation. Right now you are observing the aeroplane from very close distance, and the aeroplane, if it is flying, then the distance is very large. So when linear size of charged body, this was just an example I'm talking about here, charged body now. So linear size of charged body is very much smaller than the distance under consideration, then the size may be ignored, and the charged body is called as point charge. Second is linear charge density. This we will need, very important for us, those who are preparing for competitive examination, for them this is very important. Very simple definition I am telling you. This is not too much serious to, or this is not to worry about all these things. Very simple definition, linear charge density. So along a line, if charges are distributed, then it is denoted by lambda, and we are not definite about charges because it may be a very long line along which the charges are distributed. So right now what we can say, lambda is whatever small section we have considered, in that small section whatever charges are localized, then dq, and divided by that section. For example, this is a very small section in which charge dq are localized, and the section has an element has length dl, then dq by dl. If the entire length is L and entire charge is q, then q by L. Okay, its unit is coulomb per meter. Next is surface charge density. Surface charge density, for example, here I have shown you two different examples. One is a plane plate, that is we are going to use here in electrostatic in 12th standard, and this is for example spherical surface. If this is a conducting sphere and you are providing charges, all those charges will get distributed all over the surface. And here also on a plane sheet, if you are provided charge and if this metallic surface, then all the charges will get accumulated on the surface, then that time this definition will help us. This is going to help us. So sigma is offered as dq divided by dA, small charges, small area, and charges localized over that area, or in simple way q by a. So for example, q charges are distributed all over the surface of that sphere, then sigma would be charge divided by, and for example radius of this sphere is r, then it is 4, area is 4 pi r square you can say. If the area of this plane sheet is a, then sigma could be equal to total charge divided by total area, that is charge per unit area. Got it? Its unit is coulomb per meter square. Next is volume charge density. This is also one of the important for competitive examination. Okay, now this is insulated sphere. Insulated sphere means not conducting body, and whatever charges you have provided, for example all are localized, all are concentrated inside that sphere, then the charge density or volume charge density is charge localized per unit volume, or total charge q on total volume if it is v, and if you are talking about a sphere, then it is charge per unit volume. Volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Its unit is coulomb per meter cube. Got it? So here it is shown. Now charge versus mass, that we have already discussed yesterday, but right now the comparison is over there and you just have to make a note of that in your notebook. So first is electric charges can be positive or negative. There are two type of charges, whereas mass is always positive. Second point, charge is conserved, that we have already seen, whereas mass is not conserved. Mass can be converted to energy according to Einstein's mass energy equation, E equal to mc square. Mass can get converted to energy and energy can be converted to mass. So mass is not conserved. Charge is quantized. Quantized means q is equal to plus minus ne. We can put that charges in terms of numbers, in terms of quanta, like this is a specific very elementary charge 1.6 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb, and all the charges on a bodies can be in the form of, in the term of like 1e, 2e, 3e, 4e. So it is quantized, whereas mass is not quantized, or right now yet we have not seen any such kind of relation that whether mass is quantized or not. In future maybe mass may be quantized or may not be quantized, but right now we are not sure about this. Okay, then charge is relativistically invariant, already we have discussed. But about mass, if you see m0 is a rest mass, then if an object is thrown with the speed that is comparable with the speed of light, then mass is variable, mass changes. Okay, that is very interesting topic related to relativity. There are two theories, one is special theory of relativity and second is general theory of relativity. Okay, and last is force between the charges may be attractive or repulsive, because there are two type of charges, plus q charge repel each other, minus q charge repel each other, whereas minus q charge plus q charge attract each other. Got it? So that way force may be attractive or repulsive. The forces between masses is always attractive, it is given by Newton's law of gravitation. Okay, हे नोटबुक मध्ये लिहून घ्या सगळ्यांनी. Then charge is conserved. The thing that I was telling you na, कि that statement was wrong, कि charge is neither created nor be destroyed. So this is an article I have taken for you for reference from SCB. कि here what is given, it is possible to create or destroy charges, charged particles. It is possible. There was a statement, it is not possible, but it is actually possible. This is very correct statement right now. But it is not possible, see the statement right now, but it is not possible to create or destroy net charge. Very important word, net charge. So in, for example, beta decay process, neutron get converted into a proton and fresh electron is created. So like neutron is electrical neutral, but when it get converted to proton and electron, we can clearly see net charge was 0 initially and after also net charge is 0. But now here positive and negative charges are there. Got it? But the net charge, if you talk about net charge, initially net was 0, net charge was 0, and onward also net charge is 0. So you just have to understand this statement. Now Coulomb's law. If you have two charges, like two positive charges Q1 and Q2, these are separated by distance r, or if positive charge and negative charge is there are forces of attraction or forces of repulsion depending on the nature of charges. Okay, so Coulomb have studied it in detail and has given a relation that the force between these two charges is actually depending on the product of magnitude of those charges and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So F is equal to some constant of proportionality Q1 Q2 divided by r square. So magnitude wise I have taken here because like charges repel and unlike charges attract, you better know it, so not to go into detail. Now K is observed to be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Epsilon naught is permittivity of free space. So we just have to make note of this Coulomb's law. First is force between two charges is independent of presence of other charges. For example, this charge Q1 and this charge Q2, these two are interacting and Q2 has applied a force F on charge Q1. Now third charge Q3 is there, so obviously Q3 will also apply force, for example F dash on charge Q1, but because of Q3 this force offered by Q2 will not change. Q2 will apply force F on Q1 and because of presence of charge Q3 there will be no change in this force. Net force on charge Q1 will be different now because Q3 is also applying force F dash, Q2 is also applying force F. Right now the net force on Q1 is different, but we are talking about force between charge Q1 Q2, that is F, and it has not changed because of the third charge Q3. Okay. Next is Coulomb's law hold good for point charges. Point charges already we have discussed. So are small compared to their separation, whose dimensions are small as compared to their separation. Coulomb's law hold for charges at rest or nearly at rest because once it starts into motion then electrodynamics comes into picture. So that is not in a syllabus for detailed discussion right now. So what we can say, we are talking about electrostatic, so we'll deal with the charges at rest or charges are in motion very slowly moving or nearly at rest we can say. Coulomb's law hold over the wide range for from atomic distances 10 raised to minus 15 meter to many kilometers. Okay. This is important for competitive examination. If we are dealing with CGS system, then just put the value of K as 1 because F was equal to K Q1 Q2 by r square. Got it? So K has to be taken as 1. The conversion factor is given. 1 coulomb is 3 into 10 raised to power 9 ESU electrostatic unit in CGS system. Then in SI system we are taking K as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Epsilon naught is permittivity of free space and therefore right now the formula is F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r square, and the value of this constant is 9 into 10 raised to power 9 and epsilon naught is also 8.84 10 raised to power minus 12 coulomb square per Newton meter square. Next point is also important for those who are preparing for competitive examination. When we have inserted a medium between two charges, दो charges के बीच में अगर मैंने material medium को insert कर दिया, of which dielectric constant is K. Now remember this K and that K was different. This K is now dielectric constant which I am putting over here. Okay, so this is constant K, dielectric constant K. So when medium is inserted, the force between two charges is represented by this quantity. An additional term K is introduced here. ठीक है, यहाँ पर एक K quantity आ गई है. Now 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by r square is a force when those charges were in air or free space. So free space or force in air, that is equivalent we can say. So force in medium is force in air divided by K. Got it? Epsilon naught K is collectively written as epsilon. Epsilon is equal to K epsilon naught, या फिर K को हम लिख सकते हैं K is equal to epsilon by epsilon naught. It is written as epsilon r, relative permittivity of free space. So there are some examples of dielectric constant. For medium it is represented as generally K. वैक्यूम के लिए 1 होता है और एयर के लिए ऑलमोस्ट नियरली 1 होता है. देखिए एक्चुअली ये नंबर है बट नियरली वी कैन कंसिडर 1 फॉर न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्विंग. वाटर के लिए 80 कंसिडर कर लीजिए, मेटल्स के लिए इन्फिनिटी ले लीजिए. ये दो एग्जांपल काफ़ी बार आएगी. एक मेटल वाला तो आएगा और एयर या फिर वैक्यूम के लिए आप कंसिडर कर सकते हो. वाटर का बहुत रेयरली आएगा बट मेटल के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है हमारे लिए. अगर कोई अलग मटेरियल दिया हो तो उसकी वैल्यू K जो होगी वो स्पेसिफाई की जाएगी. Now if a dielectric is inserted in some part, very important for those who are preparing for competitive examination, inserted in some part of the space between the charges, then the force between them is calculated as, for example, here they see charges q1 q2 was there. Now entire region between q1 q2 is not filled with dielectric constant k, but a part that is t is filled over here. So what we need to do, this space or this thickness must be replaced by the length of air. For example, this much length is replaced by root k times t. This much thickness is replaced by root k times t, and r minus t was here, r minus t is as it is. So this is considered as a r. I'm just giving an example over here. If for example between two charges q1 and q2, entire space, for example entire space is filled with the dielectric constant k, r distance. So force between these two is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught k q1 q2 by r square. Now if I just wanted to replace this space or this material, if I wanted to replace this material by air, then q1 is there and q2 is there. I should have to separate them by another distance, for example r dash, and if I have displaced these two charges or separated these two charges by r dash, and if I am getting the same force, then I can write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r dash square. So if you compare these two, then r dash square can be equal to k times r square. So r dash can be equal to root k times r. So this dielectric slab of thickness r can be replaced by air of separation r dash or distance r dash, and thus r dash is root k times r. So the same thing I have used over here. So the force can be represented as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by this r minus t and root k times t and its square. So for example this is r double dash is equal to, so r double dash square is replaced by this one. Electric field, now onward we are just reaching very closer to the topics those are declared in 12th standard. So right now electric field will discuss. So it is a region or space around a charged body within which its influence can be felt by other small charges. For example, here if I consider a charge, bigger charge, and in the vicinity of this charge another charge approaches, this charge will feel or experience a force of attraction or repulsion. So the region around this we can say is electric field. Now there are two concepts. One is a source charge. The point charge producing electric field will be called as source charge. ये definition आप लिख लीजिए. Then test charge, infinitesimally small, very small charge experiencing an electrostatic force in electric field of a source charge is known as test charge. So here this is called as test charge and this is called as source charge. So here source charge, test charge, and this source charge has created electric field and it exerts a force on test charge. इसको आप नोटबुक में लिख लीजिए. Then comes electric field intensity. So electric field intensity due to source charge at any point in electric field is defined as, very important here, the force experienced by unit positive charge placed at that point. So positive charge is taken for definition. So for example charge q is placed over here and q naught is taken over here. So this q must have created an electric field at this point. In this electric field, if charge q naught approaches or q naught is kept, then it will experience a force. Or if minus q charge is taken over here, then minus q charge has created an electric field over here. Now right now we will discuss about electric field. Electric field is directed away from positive charge and it is directed toward negative charge. Okay, so now if I place over here charge q naught, then q naught will experience a force of attraction. Here because of this positive charge, q naught will experience a force of repulsion. So E naught is given by force per unit test charge, and the direction of electric field is nothing but the direction of force. So here this force was in this direction, so in the same direction electric field is generated, and here on q naught force is directed toward left, so electric field is also in the same direction. If you put a magnitude of force, so you can get this formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by r square, because force का जो फॉर्मूला था वो तो 1 बाय 4 पाई एप्सिलॉन नॉट क्यू नॉट बाय आर स्क्वायर था. गॉट इट? कूलम्स लॉ के अनुसार डिवाइडेड बाय क्यू नॉट. सो इट इज From this you can clearly see electric field is independent of test charge actually, because test charge यहाँ पर formula में कहीं पे भी नहीं दिख रहा है, and electric field is merely created by source charge. Obviously test charge is also creating electric field, but right now we have said that it is a point charge and it is not affecting the presence of this charge Q. Q naught जो है, Q naught इस चार्ज के ऊपर इफेक्ट नहीं कर रहा है, and that effect is almost negligible. Electric field line. So these are straight or curved imaginary lines. These are straight or curved imaginary lines, such that the tangent at any point on the field line gives direction of electric field at that point. Along with example, I'll explain this to you. So first is let us discuss about properties, and we will by default will understand these things. So electric line of force is continuous and smooth curve. Okay, so discontinue नहीं होगा. Smooth curve originating from, right, important, originating from positive charge and ending on negative charge. So here for example, positive charge and negative charge, and what we said about electric field, it is just a tangent. See, tangent at any point, if you draw over here a tangent, then tangent will be along the line. So here it is electric field, and for negative charge these lines are toward negative charge. So here if you draw a tangent, then that tangent is along the line. Now here if you see Q1 and Q2 are there, tangent should be drawn in the direction of electric field line of force. So line of force, we have already said that it originates from positive charge and it terminates at negative charge. So originated from positive charge and terminated at negative charge. So Q1 must be positive and Q2 must be negative. And at this point, if you want to get an electric field, we should have to draw a tangent in this sense. So here electric field direction will get. But right now over here, draw the tangent. एक tangent ऊपर भी निकालते आ सकता था, but in the direction of field lines. So electric field vector shown in this sense. Tangent to the line of force to any point gives the direction of electric field at that point. Got it? जो हमने अभी भी डिस्कस किया था, यहाँ इस पॉइंट पर इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड हम दिखा सकते हैं. और एक चीज़ मुझे आपके साथ डिस्कस करनी है यहाँ पर, एक है कि दिस डू नॉट क्रॉस ईच अदर बट लीव्स और एंड्स ऑन चार्ज कंडक्टर normally. For example, this is a charge conductor, so here it ended normally, perpendicularly. Okay, one thing I should have to tell you about crowd. More crowded lines, more electric field, and less crowded field means less electric field. Suppose I have got this imaginary area, this is area. Through that area large number of lines are passing, but the same area if I take over here, then only I can see 3 lines are passing. So through a given imaginary area, here large number of lines were passing, but here very less number of lines are passing. So here electric field is more and here electric field is less. So line of field never intersect, and the number per unit area crossing the surface at right angle to the field direction at every point is proportional to the electric intensity. Hence lines of force are closely spaced where intensity is large and widely separated where intensity is small. So here you can clearly see. Now there is another point called as neutral point. If we have 2 point positive charges and we know that line of force originate from positive charge, so line of force originate from positive charge, तो यहाँ पर अगर आप देखते हो तो एक ऐसा पॉइंट मिल जाएगा where if you put a charge, then that charge will not experience a force, or you can say net force on that charge if it is placed over here is 0. Okay, so here net electric field at that point due to all charges is 0, and if field is 0 then force is also 0. Area vector के बारे में जानते हैं. Area vector, if you consider this way, this is actually an area. So if it is dA, okay, draw the perpendicular to this. So this is area vector. So area vector dA bar you can consider. So write down this definition: a small area of the surface enclosing a given volume. For example, this is a volume we have, and I have just considered this much area. Then I can draw perpendicular to that area as a area vector. Now electric flux. The flux means flow, and it is obviously applicable to air, water, or electric field through any surface. So it is important, one of the important. It is represented by d phi for a small element dA bar. So just take an example. This is area and area vector, and if it is electric field over here, electric field E bar, and if here an angle is theta between these two, then d phi is considered as perpendicular electric field component, and dA electric field component. See, if this is electric field, we can have two components of electric field. This is E cos theta and this is E sin theta. Okay, vector resolution. Now E sin theta we should not consider, we should consider the component along the area vector. So E cos theta along the area vector. So d phi is equal to here E perpendicular dA. So you can say E cos theta dA. So d phi is equal to E dA cos theta, or in dot product you can consider here d phi is equal to E bar dot dA bar. That is proper statement. And if this surface is closed for over entire surface, you can integrate this Ea cos theta, or you can say E bar dot dA bar. Okay. So if electric field is uniform throughout the surface, you can say into A cos theta. I am just taking examples over here. So dA bar is positive if it is pointing out surface. For example, here I have considered this kind of body, and here is an electric field E bar in this sense. So over this surface electric area vector dA bar, for this surface area vector dA bar, for this surface area vector dA bar, and for this surface also area vector dA bar. So area vector is always outward, but right now here if you consider dA bar and E bar, both are in the same direction, but here electric field is in inward direction and area vector is in outward direction. So we may take dA bar positive pointing out of the surface. We have always taken that as an outward, away from the surface. Electric flux is a scalar quantity. It may be negative. Electric flux like phi is equal to E dA cos theta. So if I take an example over here, so electric field and dA bar, इनके बीच का अगर एंगल देखोगे तो थीटा इज 180 डिग्री. So obviously if you put 180 degree in cos theta, then it will be minus EDA, because if you put theta equal to 180 degree, then cos 180 is minus 1. Okay. In finding flux of charge, place the values of charge with the sign in the formula of flux that we are going to understand in a Gauss theorem. So here some examples are there. Electric field, and this is area vector, you can say dA bar. So here also dA bar and here dA bar. So theta here 0 degree because both vector are in the same direction, so it is EA. Here electric field and area vector both are perpendicular to each other, so phi is 0, and here it is minus EA. अभी हम लोग को कल गॉस लॉ पढ़ना है, तो उसके लिए सॉलिड एंगल की ज़रूरत है. सॉलिड एंगल पे एक सेपरेट वीडियो लेक्चर मैंने डाल दिया था, बट राइट नाउ व्हाट आई विल से, इट इज़ इन अ 3D स्पेस. इफ यू कंसीडर दिस इज़ अ कोन. ओके, now for example this cone is actually like this. So ये जो एरिया दिख रहा है, एरिया का एक कंपोनेंट ले लीजिए. ये एरिया का जो कंपोनेंट आएगा ये आएगा dA cos थीटा. सो सॉलिड एंगल इज डिफाइंड एज dA cos थीटा डिवाइडेड बाय r स्क्वायर. या फिर अगर डिस्क्रीट बॉडी हो तो आप उसको समेशन कर सकते हो, समेशन ऑफ डेल्टा A cos थीटा बाय r स्क्वायर, या फिर इंटीग्रेट करने के बाद आपको 4 पाई रेडियन मिल जाएगा. इसको डिटेल में पढ़ने के लिए मैंने सॉलिड एंगल वाला एक अलग लेक्चर अपलोड किया है जो आपके ऐप में दिखेगा. दैट जस्ट गो अहेड विद दैट वन. ओके, so mostly this result is very important in Gauss theorem.